So this is a special live update. This is Wednesday night, approaching the midnight hour. This is the 8th of May for what's been a fairly active severe weather tornado event for extreme North Alabama. The eastern half of the Tennessee Valley tonight. Most of Alabama, quiet, calm, not a drop of rain, but many questions about where we are now and what's to come. So now that I've finished all the TV duties, we can talk to you a little bit here. So let's just go right to the radar. And I will say that within the past 30 minutes, I'm afraid we've had a significant tornado that has come through parts of DeKalb County up in northeast Alabama. The storm that you see here in Georgia, that is the area that apparently has produced some tornado damage. In fact, we've got one report of significant damage along Alabama Highway 75 between Sylvania and Henniger. And they've requested multiple rescue personnel in case anybody is injured there. We don't know for sure if there are any injuries or the specifics on the damage, but again, that tornado came through the northern part of DeKalb County. This is north of Fort Payne. And again, we're just concerned about some damage. You see right in through here, this is Sylvania. This is Henniger, and apparently some of the damage was right in through here on Alabama Highway 75 from this signature here. But again, that particular storm is moving into Georgia, so we'll kind of focus on this one. This is the one tornado warning that we have left. And for the second time tonight, we have the potential for a tornado near Scottsboro. Now, the good news, the velocities have come way down on this. And even though there is evidence of inflow and a hook, the velocity displays are not really supportive of a tornado at this point. And understand on a night like tonight, the tornadoes that we see will be brief. They'll be short-lived. But again, if you're the deal, hey, come on, respect the polygon. I mean, that's it's an old saying, but it's a good saying. And again, we've got a tornado warning polygon. This is in effect for parts of Jackson County for that signature near Scottsboro. And this does include, again, the northern part of DeKalb County, north of Fort Payne. That would include that Highway 75 corridor, Sylvania, Henniger. And apparently they've had some significant damage there from a tornado that came through about 30 minutes ago. And it's been that kind of a night. But let's kind of expand this thing out and take a look at the big picture, if you will. And again, the only issue now, it's the northeastern corner of the state, specifically Jackson, DeKalb counties. And that's it. We are watching other storms up here in Tennessee. And what you see up in here, this will be evolving into a line. And that will be pushing into the Tennessee Valley after midnight. We're live. It's 11:46 now. And that will be pushing into the Tennessee Valley after midnight in the probably 2-3 a.m. time frame. And then that will be pushing through the state during the morning hours. And most likely weakening, and most likely with that, the main concern, strong winds instead of tornadoes like we've seen around here tonight. In fact, really quickly, let me just run you through modeling here. Let's check the high-resolution HER model. So this is what the radar could look like. At 10Z, this would be 5 a.m. So that's in about 5 hours from now. And you can see a linear-type mass of storms pushing into the Tennessee Valley, stretching from state line to state line. And again, typically with what we see at that hour of the day in that configuration, the main issue is strong winds. So just be aware that a line of storms is likely after midnight toward daybreak with potential for strong winds. So this is later in the morning. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that band of storms coming through the central counties of the state, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Clanton, Rockford, places like that. They should be weakening at that point. Let me just say the models, these convection-allowing high-resolution models, they've struggled with this pattern. They really have. And, of course, when they struggle, we struggle. But other models are not showing much at all. But the HER is suggesting the band will hold together coming down through central Alabama tomorrow morning. And then by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, that initial band is kind of clearing the southeastern corner of the state, and most of the state will be dry. In fact, it looks like a decent chunk of the afternoon will be rain-free statewide. And then the next wave comes in here tomorrow night. This is tomorrow night at 04Z. That would be 11 o'clock, about 24 hours from now. And new storms beginning to fire in advance of a front. And this is a somewhat conditional threat. If the storms can fire, they could be pretty strong. And the main concern, damaging winds. And the greatest concern, south of Interstate 20. If you're in the Tennessee Valley, you're not going to deal with this tomorrow night. This will be south of you. And really south of Interstate 20. And then by Friday morning, let's see, this is 09Z, that's 4 a.m. Friday. A big MCS coming through South Alabama with a chance of damaging straight-line winds. So, again, we'll be watching for this line that'll be coming through early tomorrow morning and about 4 hours from now, 4 to 5 hours from now. Then moving down through the state, the main concern, strong straight-line winds. Could there be an isolated tornado? Yes, but it's not especially likely. Then the afternoon is dry, then more storms fire tomorrow night, especially south of Interstate 20. And again, with those storms, the main concern coming from damaging straight-line winds. So let's go back to the radar here. We are 11 minutes away from midnight, and we'll focus on the one tornado warning we have in Alabama now, and it's this one right here for the storm that is now east of Scottsboro. And we have a tornado warning in effect. That's the red polygon you see there for parts of Jackson and DeKalb counties in northeast Alabama. And again, the potential tornado, if there's one there, would be not too far from Section and Dutton. That'll be coming down toward Highway 75. And let me put the velocities back on. And again, the velocities have come down, but these have been cyclic. They can cycle right back up. And sometimes terrain can actually enhance an updraft in northeast Alabama with Sand Mountain and Lookout Mountain. And sometimes you'll see some intensification there. But again, at the moment, that doesn't look like an overwhelming tornado signature. But once again, if you're in the polygon, respect the polygon, be in a safe place. So let's look at some of the video. And again, there's a whole lot. This was southern Tennessee. This is back before the sun set. And that's pretty impressive. Again, this is north of Alabama. This is in southern middle Tennessee earlier today. And that's what they've been dealing with. And then, of course, those storms developed southward into extreme North Alabama. And the bulk of the problems have been north of the Tennessee River. This was some video taken from the Tennessee River. And again, obviously, there's a tornado down here. It's awfully hard to see, of course, at night, but it looks like it was down at that point. And that most likely is the tornado that did produce some damage along the Tennessee River. We've had reports of damage from the Brigadoon neighborhood, which is southwest of Athens on the river. But again, that was captured earlier this evening. Now, this was a pretty impressive look at the first tornado or tornadic type storm that came through Scottsboro. And this is taken from a section up on the mountain overlooking the river in Scottsboro. And again, doing this stuff at night with all the rain around, as you know, here in Alabama, it's just so hard to see much of anything. But that's about the best view you can get. We actually had another view. Again, this was taken from section looking back over the Tennessee River and the storms to the north. And in addition to a few tornadoes, we've certainly had a lot of hail tonight. And, of course, the lightning show is pretty much nonstop in those storms. This video was taken at Athens during one of the tornado warnings. At one point, Limestone County was covered by like 4 tornado warning polygons earlier this evening. And this is some video from Scottsboro. This is obviously doorbell camera video. This was... let's see, that was taken from East Willow Street in Scottsboro. And obviously a pretty rough ride. That was the first one that came through. And, of course, they had another one that came through here about 5 minutes ago. But again, to everybody who takes the time to send in these videos and the photographs, they're very helpful. And again, I can't repost them all or show them all here, but they are just extremely helpful. So please know that, and thank you. So let's go back to the radar. And again, I'm not going to keep you up here all night. In fact, let me show this. I want to show the tornado watch. So this is what we have now. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties in Alabama under a tornado watch until 3 a.m. Central Time, 4 a.m. Eastern Time. And the counties in the watch are Limestone, Madison, Jackson, Marshall, DeKalb. And that's it. The other counties in the Tennessee Valley, the earlier watch expired an hour ago at 11. It was not extended. So if you're in the Shoals, you do not have a severe weather watch. If you're in Decatur, Moulton, Coleman, no watch. Only those counties in yellow under a tornado watch until 3. And again, that's Limestone, Madison, Jackson, Marshall, DeKalb. And just be aware of that, and that's where the concern will be. And again, another line is going to push in here after midnight toward 4 or 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 hours from now. And the main concern with that will be from strong winds, and this should be a linear type system. And again, this is what modeling is suggesting the radar could look like at 5 o'clock this morning. And we'll see. The SPC might consider a severe thunderstorm watch for this. We'll just have to watch for trends. So again, speaking of trends, let's go back to the radar. And we are 5 minutes away from the midnight hour. And again, this is a tornado warning in effect for parts of Jackson and northern DeKalb counties in northeast Alabama. And again, the velocities have just come way, way down here, thankfully. Still, you got the inflow notch and the pendant there, but the velocities are really not supportive of a tornado at this point. But this could cycle back up. And again, like we talked about with the terrain, you never know in that part of the state. But as long as the polygon is up, the advice is to stay sheltered. And I know that some people have sheltered a lot tonight. The warning is in effect until 12:15 a.m. And again, we'll see if they choose to extend this. But again, we have reports of earlier damage. In fact, the storm that came through there earlier was pretty wicked, northern DeKalb in this same area. And we've had reports of damage in that area right in through here between Henniger and Sylvania on Highway 75. And reports that rescue personnel have been called in. And whether anybody is hurt or not, I don't know that. But again, there's been apparently some significant damage. And I will say the earlier storm, the signature was really, really impressive here. You can kind of catch it right there. That earlier storm that came through, very, very impressive. In fact, let's see if I can back this up. I don't know if I can do it on this particular display or not. I don't think I can. But anyway, so that's our one tornado warning polygon that's currently in effect. And we'll get the new convective outlook here at 1 a.m. in about an hour. The day one comes out at 1 a.m. this time of the year. And I'll show you the current one that's in the house for Thursday, which is about to begin here in 3 minutes. And again, there's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk across the central counties of the state. And I think the main concern is for the activity Thursday night that would redevelop. And of course, we'll have the batch also tomorrow morning. So again, 2 distinct rounds of storms to come. One will be a line coming through North Alabama tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, and then potential for a second round tomorrow night. And that would be mainly south of Interstate 20. And with both of those rounds, the main threat from strong winds, although a brief isolated tornado is a possibility, and we've had a few of those tonight across the eastern part of the Tennessee Valley. So there's our one tornado warning polygon that is currently in effect. This is, again, for parts of eastern Jackson, northern DeKalb counties up in northeast Alabama. This is north of Fort Payne, And again, if that thing holds together, it would affect places like Mentone, Valley Head. But again, it's really struggling in the velocity. The velocity is not supportive of a tornado at this point. And I would imagine the Weather Service in Huntsville will look at this for a few more volume scans. They might cancel it. They might leave it in place until 12:15. But that's the only warning we have right now. And we've had just a wealth of these things during the past 6 hours, these short-fuse tornado warnings. And again, we will know tomorrow morning more about the damage. In fact, there has been some damage in Huntsville. We had a fairly decent rotational signature come right through Huntsville tonight. And I think I can pull up some video from Huntsville so you can see that in case you have not. Let's see here. Let me drop this in real quick. Got so many videos here. Don't be sure to get the right one. Yeah, this is the one. So this is a drive east of downtown Huntsville. And again, you'll get the idea of what it looks like there. And obviously a lot of wind. Now, whether there's a tornado involved in this, we won't know that. Again, you've got to get the first light of day. But we have had reports of trees blown down in Huntsville tonight. And I'm going to pull up the report. Yeah, Huntsville Police Department, Huntsville-Madison County EMA, they've received reports of damage in downtown Huntsville, 5 Points, and Blossomwood. And they're asking people to avoid these areas because of downed trees and power lines. And again, whether any tornado is involved, we don't know at this point. Might be just straight line winds. And also, Elia has put out a note concerning Limestone and Madison counties. They have multiple road closures because of downed trees blocking multiple roads in both Limestone and Madison counties. So if you have to drive tonight, especially on kind of rural roads out in the country, be really careful because if you're driving fast, you come across a downed tree that you don't see very well. That can create some big problems. And again, this particular video is shot east of downtown Huntsville. And that's some of the damage they've experienced there in the central part of Madison County earlier tonight. So again, it's been a rough ride, especially for our friends north of the Tennessee River. So let's go back to our ongoing tornado warning here. And by the way, let me just say this. I'll kind of chase a rabbit. It's frustrating for me. Here's what I'd like to do. I would like to provide long-form, really good, aggressive, severe weather coverage for all 67 Alabama counties. And I've said this before, you really cannot do weather coverage effectively during high-impact severe weather events unless you understand the people, the culture, and the geography and the microclimates of a place. I wouldn't do well in Denver or Boston or Chicago, but I've been here a long time, and I understand, and I think I'm qualified to handle all 67 counties. And, of course, I've been to all of them, and I know all of them like the back of my hand. I was in Dothan yesterday doing a school program. I mean, I go from Gulf Coast to the Tennessee state line doing these school programs every day, and you do it for 45, 46 years. You get a really good working knowledge of the geography and the people and the culture. And my heart is to ultimately do just severe weather coverage, long-form coverage for all 67 Alabama counties. And it's frustrating on a night like tonight. A lot of people don't know this, but I have a real job, and this is not it, coming live on the socials here. But my job is chief meteorologist of the ABC TV affiliate in Birmingham, and that comes with a lot of duties during the week. And I can't break away from that to go live if it's a county that's out of this TV market. And again, my vision is just to ultimately do severe weather coverage for all 67 Alabama counties, good long-form hurricane coverage for the Gulf Coast, like tonight, tornadoes in the Tennessee Valley. And again, I'm hoping we can make that happen, so just be patient. Everything takes a little bit of time here, but anyway, that's my heart. So But anyway, so this is where we are. It is now 12:03. We are into Thursday, May 9th. And again, I'll break away here in a little bit because this probably should be the last tornado warning of the night. And this storm will be moving out of northeast Alabama into northwestern Georgia soon. And again, the wind velocity display you see up there, it's just, again, not really supportive of a tornado. There's broad rotation. We still have the hook and the pendant, and you have to respect that. And if you're going to have anything going on, it's going to be right in here. And again, there's clearly rotation there. It's just not the best signature we've seen. But I think the right thing to do is to leave the polygon up. If I were working the warning desk, I would until 12:15. That's in 10 minutes. But if there's anything there, it's about to cross Highway 75 again between Henniger and Sylvania. And this is where we've had earlier damage from the storm that came through about 40 minutes ago. And that's one of the worst things when you've got damage and first responders are getting in there trying to help people, and then a second storm like this comes along. But again, that will be crossing ultimately Interstate 59 near Mentone, and then getting up on Lookout Mountain around, I should say this, it's going to cross Interstate 59 near Valley Head, then get up on the mountain around Mentone. Mentone's up on the mountain, Valley Head is in the valley, and then it crosses over into Georgia. And all of this is north of Fort Payne. If you're in Fort Payne, you're not in any polygon here. This is all north of you. And again, this is the actual last, I think the last tornado warning we'll see in the series here. And again, technically the tornado watch runs until 3 a.m. for that northeastern corner of the state. But what's going to happen, that new line is going to come in, and the emphasis will kind of shift to strong straight line winds in a long line by 3, 4, 5 o'clock this morning from Tennessee. And, of course, I get so many questions on a night like this, and the most common question is, can I go to bed? Well, sure you can. If you have a weather radio, you got no problem. And, we preach having a weather radio in the house. That's the baseline. Everybody needs one, and if you don't have one, you need to get one. But with a weather radio, that thing will wake you up. It's like a smoke alarm in your house for a tornado. And phones, the problem, like my phone is now in the sleep mode, do not disturb, no notifications. It's going to be just dead. And sometimes cell service can be disrupted. NOAA Weather Radio has nothing to do with cell service. It's an independent RF network, and they're good. They're old school, but by golly, they're good school. So I tell people, yeah, sure, go to bed. And if you've got a weather radio, you'll get the warning and you'll wake up. And I do know that people have weather anxiety and they just can't sleep. I understand that. A lot of people have sincere weather anxiety. And, if that's the case, if it helps you staying up, that's fine. You certainly don't have to. But again, I think for most of the state, you can get some sleep here. And if warnings are needed for the line coming in at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, you'll get those in your phone or your weather radio. And I think the primary warnings we'll see with that will be severe thunderstorm warnings. And one more note, too, while we're just kind of walking through some logistical housekeeping points here. The other thing I get, it's requests for individual briefings, and, I just... I can't. I would love to do that, but I will have hundreds and hundreds of photos and videos that are really important I have to see, and we have to do these live streams, and we have to push out information. And so if you see somebody asking for information in the comments section of a post, it would be really good. And listen, a lot of people can't read maps. They just don't have any map skill. And instead of attacking them, maybe you can help them. Listen, there's a lot of weaknesses in my life. I'm not good at a lot of things. And some people have a hard time with reading comprehension. And that's okay. And maybe you can help them. They can't understand what was written, or they can't understand the map that was posted. And I just can't go in and do individual briefings in a night like this. So you can help us in that way. And, of course, the other way you can help is to be a hero. We say this all the time. If you know anybody in one of these tornado warning polygons, text them or call them to be sure they know about it. we've learned through social science studies that's one of the most important resources we have. It's weather geeks, dweebs, nerds, dorks, weenies that really pay attention to this, and they call their relatives and their friends and their loved ones in the polygons to let them know and to be sure they know that they need to do something. And that's our Be a Hero campaign, and you really are a hero if you come alongside us and help us notifying people, because people are busy. They don't have time to watch the weather all day and all night. Everybody's busy these days. All right, so we are now at 12:09, and it looks like the Weather Service in Huntsville has extended the tornado warning polygon. The new one will be in effect until 1 a.m., and I think they'll cancel it before 1 a.m. because the storm will be in Georgia by then. But this will include Mentone and Valley Head. So your potential tornado is in this area right here. And it's crossed over Highway 75. And the next major thoroughfare over here is going to be Interstate 59, which is this road you see right there. And that'll be crossing over Interstate 59 fairly soon near Valley Head. And then it goes up on the mountain, Lookout Mountain, around Mentone. And, of course, from there it goes over into northwestern Georgia. So Fort Payne is down here, and all of this is happening well north of Fort Payne. If you're in Fort Payne, there's no concern from this. This is the northern part of DeKalb County. So, again, the Weather Service in Huntsville posting a new tornado warning for northern DeKalb County. And that's in effect until 1 a.m., and that will be canceled before 1 o'clock because it'll move into Georgia a lot sooner than that. So that's the situation there. So let's kind of expand everything out again and take a look at what's happening to the north. And you can see there are no tornado warnings in the state of Tennessee. I see one severe thunderstorm warning up around Martin, Tennessee. And that's with this new batch coming in. See a few severe thunderstorm warning polygons. Most of the polygons in Tennessee, those are flash flood warnings, the green ones there. In fact, we've got flash flood warnings for parts of Madison County and parts of Jackson County. But again, that's just a messy, massive convection. Really more outflow dominant, and that's most likely not going to produce a tornado up there. And that will be kind of merging into a single line and then pushing into North Alabama in about 3 or 4 hours with heavy rain, loud thunder, gusty winds. But I'd say the tornado threat, when it comes through early in the morning, will be relatively low. It's certainly not zero, but relatively low. It will not be like what we've had tonight. And again, of course, the big question is what happens tomorrow night. Do we see another round south of Interstate 20 for the southern two-thirds of the state? And what does that look like? Well, a lot will depend on how the atmosphere looks at midday tomorrow. But again, we think most of the afternoon tomorrow dry. That should allow the air to recover, and we'll just see how that all plays out. So it's 12:12 a.m. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And again, for those that are new here, when I do these lives, we simulcast on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Take your pick. You've got your pick. And that's the way I do the daily briefings, the morning briefing, the afternoon briefing. They're both simulcast on both those platforms. And again, we'll just sit here for a few more minutes and kind of watch this northern DeKalb County storm as it rides along here. But I just wanted to show that big picture. So let's go back into northeast Alabama. And again, we've got that one storm. You can see the pendant at the base of that, meaning there's at least broad rotation. There's a mesocyclone there. And this came through Scottsboro again, although this signature was not as intense as the earlier Scottsboro storm. It came along Highway 75, Henniger, Sylvania, where there was some damage from the earlier storm. And again, that's going to be crossing Interstate 59 fairly soon. It should be into northwestern Georgia by, I'd say, 12:30 this morning. And again, I'm watching more videos here coming in, and these are so helpful. But goodness, it is so tough when you've got these things at night, and this is an Alabama thing. Most of ours are rain-wrapped, and they're at night. But again, all the videos are so helpful, and the images that we get. Trying to see what else has come in here. Mainly looking for specific damage reports. And not seeing anything new, and I don't expect to get a lot of information. Look, it's after midnight now, and again, typically we'll know when the sun comes up tomorrow morning about 6 o'clock what's going on here. So for those that are just joining us, the reason I'm here, we have one tornado warning left for the northern part of DeKalb County, for that pendant hook signature that's about to come across Interstate 59 near Valley Head. And from there, it goes up on Lookout Mountain around Mentone. And again, if you're in that polygon, respect the polygon and be sheltered. And one of our biggest challenges at this hour of the day is obviously folks that live in mobile homes. Wonderful, affordable housing. But you can't stay there when there's a tornado warning polygon in effect. And those that are in mobile homes have to leave and go to some significant structure, whether it's a gas station, a fast food restaurant, or an actual tornado shelter. And understand that's a challenge because for some folks it might be more than 15 or 20 minutes. The average lead time for a tornado warning here is about 12 minutes. And for some folks it might be 30 minutes to get to a shelter or a gas station or some place that can offer shelter. And for some folks in manufactured housing, maybe they don't have transportation. And it's our problem. We have to do better for folks that live in manufactured housing. But obviously, in these polygons, you don't want to be in a mobile home. You can't. There is no safe place in a mobile home during a tornado situation like this. No safe place whatsoever. It's like a car. Cars are great, but you can't be in a car during a tornado warning, and you cannot be in a mobile home. And that's our really biggest challenge. But if you're in a site-built home, obviously small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows, and you're going to wear a helmet. One of the things I have learned through a lot of very good ER docs is that most people that are hurt badly in tornadoes, it's blunt force trauma above the shoulders. And by putting on a cheap bicycle helmet, if you play sports or your kids play sports, a batting helmet, a motorcycle helmet, football, anything like that, that really, really enhances your chance of being fine and not being seriously hurt. And it's not that hard to do. And this is for everybody. This is for adults. I don't care if you're 99 years old or if you're 5 years old. It's a big deal. So helmets for everybody. And hopefully this will be the last tornado warning polygon of this event. And I think it will, at least of this. I'll say we have 3 rounds here. This is round 1. Of course, this is mainly for extreme North Alabama. Most of Alabama, not a drop of rain tonight. This is round 1. Round 2, it's the line coming through tomorrow morning. And then the third round is tomorrow night, if it can get going. And that would be mainly south of Interstate 20. And, of course, tonight, north of the Tennessee River, the biggest issue, it's been these small spin-up tornadoes. But with the next 2 rounds, we think the main issue coming from strong straight-line winds and some hail. But there could be an isolated tornado. I would say it's not likely, but it's certainly possible. I mean, hey, this is May. This is the tornado season here. And again, on a logistical note here, for those just joining us, we have a tornado watch in effect for these counties. That's it. The old watch expired at 11. And the only counties in Alabama under a tornado watch right now are Madison, Jackson, Marshall, Limestone, and DeKalb. That's it. And that watch extends over into southeastern Tennessee, extreme North Georgia, western North Carolina, includes Chattanooga, and places like that. So elsewhere, there are no watches, no warnings. The old watch expired at 11 o'clock. And so let me stop the looping here and take a live look. We'll put the velocity display back on and see if it looks any better, and it really doesn't. But still, right in this region, right in through here, we've got broad circulation. It's crossing Interstate 59, about 15, 16 miles north of Fort Payne, right around Valley Head. And so, again, if you're in Valley Head or Mentone, you need to be sheltered anywhere close to those two communities. And, of course, no driving along Interstate 59. That's the one thing we try and tell people to do is to, goodness, you don't want to be driving in a tornado warning polygon. That's not good. So just, stop and hold up at somewhere where you're not involved in that, because the worst possible place to be is a car. So I want to do one thing here. I want to go back and show that earlier signature that was coming through that part of the state earlier. Let's see here. I'll go back to May 8th. Let's pick 11:30 p.m. Something about that way. What I'm going to do is get a archived image. Let me back it up to about 11:15. Once I get it, I'll transfer it over. Yeah, that's very significant. At 11:14, let me back it up to about 11:09. Yeah, there's no doubt this is just not good. So let me share this. What I have to do is transfer it over to the computer that I'm using. And I'll show it to you here in just a second. And again, what you're seeing, that's the live radar of the storm that's moving through right now. And let me do one more thing here. Let's put on the CC, and we're going to share that one. And then we can drop it in over here. All right. Yeah, this was, I would suggest this might be the best signature of the entire evening. Wow. All right, so what you see here, this was the radar. This is an archived radar image at 11:09. 11:09, and look at the velocity display, like right up there. That was coming right through Henniger, just right below Henniger. And notice the donut hole and the reflectivity. And I'll put on the correlation coefficient product. Of course, all the TV stations call it debris tracker, which is basically what we use it for. But again, you see that lowered CC right there at Henniger. And again, that is just, I would say that might be the most violent signature of the entire event. And again, unfortunately, we've had reports of significant damage. And I guarantee you there's tornado down. It's clearly down because we saw debris being lofted here. But again, this was at 11:09. So this was about an hour and 15 minutes ago. And that was the lead storm that came through. The one that's coming through now is nothing like that. Nothing like that. But that's just nasty. And again, this is north of Fort Payne, north of Rainsville, a little north of Sylvania. And that thing ultimately would cross over Interstate 59. So that was an hour and 15 minutes ago. Let's go back to the live look. And again, you can clearly see this is nothing. I mean, nothing like that. Let me take the telestration off. And again, there's still circulation. There's no doubt we've got circulation here. It's right in through here, near or just north of Valley Head, and approaching Mentone. And again, in about 10 minutes, this will be in Georgia, and the warning will be canceled. And this will be the last one of the night, I hope. But still, you've got to clearly pay close attention as we got that second line coming in here. So once again, let's back out of this and take a look at the big picture. Of course, you can see all the activity over in North Georgia, mostly flash flood warnings over there. And again, up in Tennessee, a lot of stuff going on there, but that is mostly outflow dominant kind of junk convection. And we got some flash flood warnings in effect, but those storms in Tennessee are not severe. And the better dynamic support with this, what's produced the tornadoes, that's moved on to the east. And again, the tornado watch technically is until 3, but I think once we get this storm out of Alabama, the watch can pretty much go away for our state, and then we'll focus on that stuff to the north, dropping in here in about 3 or 4 hours from now, into the early morning hours. So one more time, if you're just joining us, this is what high-resolution modeling is suggesting the radar could look like at 5 o'clock. And you can see that line moving in from the north, and with that, the main threat, heavy rain, strong straight-line winds. By 8 o'clock, that batch of rain coming down into Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Interstate 20, and points south, probably weakening at that point. Then by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or this afternoon, I should say, storms are clearing the southeastern corner of the state. And again, the bulk of the afternoon should be dry. Partly sunny, highs well up in the 80s. And then that next round begins tomorrow night. This is tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. And then this is Friday morning at 4 o'clock, showing kind of the main action down across the southern part of the state. But again, we'll be back here with the new weather briefing video in about 4 hours or so. And we'll take a look at all the new data together as always. So before we wrap it up here, we'll go back to the radar and we'll check on our storm one more time. Our last tornado warning here of this event. And it's for that storm that is near Mentone and Valley Head up in the northern part of DeKalb County. This is far north of Fort Payne. Fort Payne, this is not even close to you. And you can see the Weather Service is issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for the adjacent counties in Georgia, and that they believe that there's no tornado. And I think that's right. Again, looking at the velocity, it's just, we got some strong winds, but that would be straight line winds. And that's not really a tornado signature, so I think that's the right thing to do. And again, that's in the process in about 5 minutes of moving over into northwestern Georgia. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, I'll be back in a few hours with a new weather briefing video, and we'll see how it plays out for tomorrow. One thing that's going to happen, by the way, after the storms get out of here tomorrow night, early Friday, we're going to turn cool. We're going to see many spots in the 40s over North Alabama Saturday morning. And I think the next time we see that will be in October, so enjoy that for cool weather fans. And the weekend looks glorious. Sunny days, fair nights, low humidity, just fine, Saturday and Sunday. So, again, that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be talking again live on YouTube and Facebook in about 5 hours, so get you some sleep. We'll see you here soon. Thanks for watching. Have a good morning, and God bless.